back to your favorite full cock.
Full cock.
We're keeping it.
We're keeping it.
Welcome back to your favorite podcast, Full Coverage.
What is
with
up, you
your
guys?
host,
Manny and
and Laura Lee up in here.
And Laura Lee with it, rock with it.
And Laura Lee with the rock with it. Oh my God.
Laura, someone sent Laura an email and was like, "Hey, Laura, lean with it, rock with it," and I was like,
He was sitting right here whenever I opened it, so I just like, Manny, read the first line.
I screamed.
It was so cute.
That's my nickname.
I loved it.
It's so good. I died.
call him Mandy more.
Mandy.
Mandy.
We
What
have
are
our
we going to
names.
do? We have our names.
We have our names, and that's just how it works, and that's what friendship is.
Okay, so based on the title of today's episode,
It's a little bit of an intense title, and we understand
it's
that.
going to get hairy.
It is going to get hairy.
But we can only speak from experience.
The reason we're even talking is based off of experience.
And recently, there's been a little bit of cancel culture stemming around, and we just want to talk. It's been bubbling.
It's been bubbling.
And we want to talk about that a little bit. We want to deep dive in that a little bit, and we want to explain some things you guys may realize or you may not realize.
I don't think we've ever done an episode dedicated to cancel culture. And
we just did our first episode where we touched on Dramageddon.
But that was our situation.
And touched on like our situation specifically, but we haven't like deep dove into like what canceling is, how it happens.
Works.
But first, most importantly,
of course, people love the Peek and Pit, by the way.
I'm so
the
happy.
The comments that are like, we love the rapid fires with the Peek and Pit.
I'm like, yay!
Like, I'm like, oh, they love it.
And then you have people that are like, can you put a timestamp?
We need a timestamp. Stop fucking talking.
I love it.
It's a nice juxtaposition for us. Yeah, we get both.
It's great.
Okay, Peek and Pit, Peek and Pit, Peek and Pit.
I'll start with my peak.
Start with your peak.
So my peak is I hired a personal assistant.
Fuck yeah.
Woo!
Snaps, snaps, snaps.
So as I think I've explained to you guys before, I had one in the past, like in 2016 or 17. One of those 2 years, I hired one. It was the best thing that ever happened to me. And then she helped me build my brands, and now she works with my brands and all that stuff. She no longer does personal assistant stuff. She does big job stuff.
Yeah.
She directs both of the brands. So, it came time to hire an assistant, and someone reached out to me that I had already been working with on other projects. And they're like, do you need a personal assistant? I have time. I can do it. I'm already a personal assistant for this celebrity. So I know how to like do it. Like I know how to do it. Did I tell you the celebrity?
You didn't tell me.
I'll tell you off camera, but you're going to be like,
is it shocking? Wow, it's gonna be much better with you. It's gonna be a much better situation with you than I'm sure she had to deal with.
I was like, oh, interesting. So I hired her, and she just started on Monday, so it's all fresh and new, but it's already been like a lifesaver, and it's already been so spectacular and great, and I'm so looking forward to how much more is going to happen and get done, and how much more time I'm going to have to focus on things that I need to be focusing on. It's all just going to be great.
Honestly, having an assistant is like a game changer.
It is a game
changer. It really
changer.
is. I've had assistant. My current assistant I've had for over a year and some change. I've had, I think, 4 assistants in the last like 5 years.
Yeah.
It's like always like a year, like the last like a year, and I'm like, shit's not going well.
Yeah.
Or like things just kind of like go downhill in some way that I'm like, So the assistant I have now has been my longest lasting assistant. She's great. She's busy with school, but it's nice that I have her the days I do have her. So it's like, I'm so excited for school to be done. So I'm like, let me bring you on for more hours.
Yeah.
Because I want more help.
You're like, especially now.
Especially in the middle of my mood. Like, it's like, I actually like, I need.
You need the help.
I need the extra help, like genuinely.
It's so crazy.
Yeah. So wait, so she just started. And how many days a week is she gonna work?
I'm just gonna have it fluctuate based off my schedule and like what I need her for. I honestly need her 5 days in a week, but this is my plan. I have to get her trained on like how to do things when I'm not there,
100%.
like on her own. And obviously she just started this week, but once I get her trained and she's able to come in and do things and work without me being there, that's whenever I'm going to load her up on hours and be
That's the magic.
Because the thing is, I'm like gone next week, and then 3 nights out of this week, 3 afternoons, I'm gone. I'm gone all day today. So it's like I don't have time. So I only had two days this week to like train her to do stuff, because right now I have to be there with her to teach her. But again, I had an assistant for a few years, and then she moved up and she does bigger things for us now. So I lost that personal assistant, and then COVID happened. So I was like, definitely not hiring an assistant.
Right. You
and
need
then
anything.
I found myself in this weird space because it's hard to hire a personal assistant to do personal things for you and to be in your home if you don't know them.
It's very weird.
It makes it weird.
100%.
And I'm a little bit peculiar in that area in my life. Like, I like to trust people. I'm not, I just will not let anyone in. I'll be honest. I won't let just obviously anyone in. Come on in and let me tell you everything I'm doing and my whole life. But this person I had already been working with, I think a little over maybe a year now with stuff with Minim. And she offered, and I'm like, I've already gotten to know you. I've worked with you multiple times for hours and on hours in, and I love your vibe. You're very on board. This person's very on board with what I'm doing, with my vibe, how I want my brands to run, like very up to date with everything going on, you know. Very in tuned with social media. She's very current, very vibey. And I'm like, this just could not be more perfect because, you know, it's just scary hiring someone and then them turn out to be like, it just be an insane situation in your private life. And that is like, I would rather just not have an assistant than deal with that. So that's what's led me to the point of not delegating tasks and not having an assistant. But this just like fell in my lap, and I feel like I manifested it in a weird way because I keep thinking, oh, whenever I would do minuscule tasks where they would take me hours, like I would think to myself, I really should consider getting an assistant.
100%.
So like that thought kept coming into my mind, and then I would continuously push it out because I'd be like, no, because I don't want to deal with someone to get a crazy in here. Like, I don't want to get a crazy in here.
You never know, like really.
You don't ever know. And so it, like the thought just kept popping in my mind, and then she asked me, and I was like, wow, I feel like this is my one chance to get someone who I already know to work for me. Because my family, I would definitely like lean on my family more, but they don't live here.
100%. It makes it way harder.
It does.
I lean on my family a ton.
I would.
Ton.
I absolutely.
My assistant's not like a family member. Like
No.
she's like my assistant.
No.
That also helps run Lunar Beauty for me, which is really nice to help her with socials.
Well, you know, the person that I hired on, my God, 6 years ago, I want to say, that now runs the brands. I didn't know her at all. I didn't know her at all.
Sometimes you have a winner. And sometimes you get a fucking winner.
Sometimes you're a winner, but I just feel like, how lucky can you get twice? They ain't gonna happen to me twice.
Lightning ain't striking 2 times.
Lightning is not happening, striking twice. Spot. So I feel like in this case, it just was a really great scenario. And there's one thing I really look for in an assistant, and it's a thinker. Like, there are people who float through life, and I think both types of people are totally okay, and I think there are jobs meant for them, and there are jobs meant for certain different people, you 100%. Know? And like, I like thinkers, people who want
go-getter.
Yep. Do you have initiative? Yes. So it's like, if I tell you to organize this drawer, am I gonna have to tell you every little thing to do, where to put every little thing, or is that common sense ticker just automatically
You need someone with common sense.
I need someone with common sense.
All of my other assistants had no common sense. I would say.
I need someone with common sense, Manny. You said it. I need someone with common sense.
You want someone that's not going to be baby. Like, the whole point of an assistant is to help you out, not you having to constantly help them out with stuff.
Yes.
I'm like, dude, I need you to be a thinker, be an active thinker, active listener, all that stuff.
Active thinker. It's active thinking. And it's a skill you develop, and some people have it automatically. Some people learn it. Some people develop it, and some people just never fucking get it. And you never know what you're going to get.
Totally.
Because in interviews, everybody's a thinker then. You know what I mean?
Of course, because you're interviewing.
With my experience with this person, I already knew they were a thinker. And that was like a green flag for me. When do we hear the word green flag?
Never.
We should use that more.
I've been saying...
So everything's a red flag.
And I love saying red flag. I love saying that's red. That's red flag.
See?
I love saying
we should start saying things like green flags.
That's a green flag.
It was a green flag for me. And so I had her organize my makeup drawers. And there was one thing she did that said, that made me go, yep, I knew it. You're an active thinker. When she was organizing the drawers, she was moving my makeup around. And that's like my livelihood. That's like how I work. I need to know where things are.
Yes.
She moved, all my lip drawers were like overflowing with shit.
100%.
So she moved all my hydrating lip products, such as chapsticks, lip oils, moisturizers, into my hydration drawer with my primers and my moisturizers. And
it made more sense.
Because it makes more sense. So that way color lip products have more space. And I was like, that is active thinking.
Like that's what you need.
Like that was it. That was it for me. I was like,
you knew.
Yep.
You're like, thank God.
I was like, so you get it. Like you get
Yes.
it. You're making things make sense. You look at this project and you go, okay, what's going to make sense for me if I'm getting ready or I'm pulling product? This would make sense.
Do you know how hard it is to find a fucking active thinker? Let's have that conversation. It is, because the thing is, in an interview, you don't know if someone's an active thinker because you haven't had them do.
Manny, sometimes you rip words out of my brain and I just
articulate them.
Yep.
Right as I'm pulling out of you, and I just say it. Literally, it is so hard. And the thing is, I almost like want to do this where I'm like, I'm gonna give you a month trial period. Like I'm getting to that point where I'm like, if I'm gonna hire someone else, because I'm looking for to get another assistant to have my assistant now help a little bit more with lunar stuff. So I'm like, I'm gonna need a trial run, a month. You can work with me for a month. I need to see if you're an active thinker, active listener, where it's like, if I can just say something this is my biggest thing. I need follow-up. That's my biggest pet peeve is like when I say to do something, let's say the task does get done, but I'm not told the task is done. I need to be, I don't want to be thinking, oh fuck, did I get done? Having to message you, doing the whole thing. I'm like, I need to know if it got done and when it got done.
I find that with assistant work, if you're constantly having to tell someone how to do something and follow up to see if they did it, sometimes, sure, that's going to happen. But all the time, then what's the point in having an assistant? Just do it yourself. You know what I mean? And it's
I want my life to be easier, not harder.
That's it. That's the one.
Well, I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. I'm glad that is your fucking
It's just day one, but it's gone really well. And like anything I've asked her to do has just been spectacular and exactly what I needed. So I'm really looking forward to this. And I have really high hopes. And I think it's going to be spectacular. And I already told her, like, if you want to do things outside of personal assistance, I do have those areas for you. Obviously, once you prove that like you can do things and it's all good, those areas are wide open for you
100%.
With my businesses and what I do. And I told her, you know, if you want to turn yourself into an influencer after this, or you want to start a brand, I'm not the type of person that's like, she's copying me or she's just taking. I said, take everything you can possibly take from me, learn everything you can possibly learn, and then go use it in your own life. That's what I literally told her on day one.
I love that.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be
so
great.
Sweet.
Oh, well.
I want to work for you.
Come on, baby. Come on.
I want to be your active thinker.
You're too expensive. I cannot afford to hire you. I cannot afford to hire you.
It'll be $10,000 an hour.
Nope.
No, 100%. I'm glad. Laura, what was my peak?
Your peak, what? Well, I know your pit.
I just told it to you. I know
your pit.
Wait, what's my pit? The move.
Let's do your pit.
Okay, that was my pit. I'm just going to move. We're going to go opposite.
Yep.
My pit, so as excited as I am for the move, I am so excited. I'm actually in the new place now, and I'm so thrilled.
He's loving the location.
And I'm reaping the benefits. Like the day one, I was reaping the benefits, like from the moving in. It's just chef's kiss, truly.
Isn't it?
The problem is that since my house before was bigger and had more rooms, and I'm downsizing, I'm currently downsizing while moving in at the same time. And doing them both at the exact same time is so hard. I'm like literally struggling like every single day because like I want to get things done like in the house, but I'm so busy too that it's like I have so much going on like with Manny and Laura stuff, with work, with Lunar Beauty, everything going on that I'm like, fuck, I have to deal with also unpacking everything, and I'm tired sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to unpack, and then when I unpack something, I'm like, fuck, dude, this shouldn't even came here.
Yeah.
This should have been given away or donated or thrown away.
Yeah.
But it's making space in the new place, and I don't have as much space.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny? I actually got a comment recently, and it was a comment on my channel, and it was like, it was such a rude ass comment.
Oh no! What are you about to say?
It was part of like I was like, oh, I'm gonna be moving. It was like my moving video, and I was like, moving out. I'm going to a place. I'm like downsizing my personal space, and they were like, it was like, oh, no wonder you're downsizing. Your views are lower.
I'm pretty sure this house was more expensive than your last.
And that's what I was gonna say. I was like, it's funny because like it's actually
you're
hundreds of thousands. More.
You're actually okay, guys.
More expensive.
This is how LA works. He's moving into a way more popular area than where he was at.
Yes.
So when you do that, you're going to pay more for less space.
You're
so
paying more for
Manny
less.
is upsizing in rent and mortgage, I should say, because he bought this house and mortgage, and he is from his last, but downsizing in space, and that is the LA way.
And that's just the LA way,
and
that's what it is.
Because he's very successful. And is
You're
going
so cute.
to continue.
And I love you. I love you so much. Like, it was just like, I saw it and I was like, my place is more expensive than that. My first thought was, I was like, I'm actually paying more money now.
You're
going
like,
to a smaller place.
Actually, I'm upgrading.
I'm actually upgrading. But I was just cracking up because I was like, actually, I'm not only am I like slightly downsizing from the size of it because it is just going to be me living there. And I also like, why would I need a big place for just me? It doesn't make sense. So I'm like, I'm downsizing my place, but I'm downsizing at the same time as moving. So it's like this very strange thing where I'm trying to do all of it at one time. And so my place is like stacked with boxes right now because it's like I'm missing a whole room. Like, for example, I had 5 bedrooms in my last place. This one has 4. So it's like a whole room of stuff that I had is now like, where am I putting that stuff?
And I'm sure like even like, because I know you had like multiple smaller. Like balconies and like living rooms. So I'm sure like all that furniture has got to go somewhere.
Just like even things that like go in closets where it's like I don't have as many closets. So I'm like, okay, like I have to like kind of figure that out. So at the same time as I'm figuring everything out, all that's going on.
So it's like, what are you going to do with all this stuff that you can't?
Right now, we're like currently in this, like, I'm trying to put as much stuff as I can in my garage that are things I'm going to be donating because like there's this company that will come pick up your donations. Oh, that's so nice. That's what I'm doing. So I'm like, but the problem is like having to put everything into my garage.
Do you know that you like inspired me because like obviously you've been like sending me like, you're like, look at all the shit. Like you'll send me a little video and be like, this is all the shit I got to go through, or like, look how packed out this space is. Like I got to go through all this and get rid of all this. You've made me realize like how packed in my home I am. So I started looking around.
And you're like, oh fuck, am I a hoarder?
I was like, oh my God, every cabinet is full. Every room that I don't use.
You don't realize it though.
You don't. It just slowly starts to pile up. And so baby, you had me for the past month, every weekend, I have been taking the time to any space in my home that I'm not actively using to go through every single nook and cranny, every closet, and pull out shit that I'm not using and get rid of it. Yeah. I had a pile of furniture that I gave to my neighbors this coming weekend that had been in my spare bedroom that I wasn't using. I'm like, someone can be using this. So I gave it to my neighbors. It's because of you.
Yep.
And I told Erin, I texted her, I said, you're coming home this weekend. You're going to help me clean out the spare bedroom closet because it's filled with pillows and blankets and clothes and just shit.
Okay, like see that's what I'm talking about. It's like the pillows, blankets, and sheets.
We don't use
and I'm like, I don't use any of this stuff. And especially because I was buying so much new stuff in the new place. I'm like, where's all that old stuff going to go?
Get rid of it.
So the fact that it came with me, because I was like, especially with the move crunch I had, you know, it was like a fast turnaround.
Yeah.
Because I had to be out by a certain amount of time while the people had to come in.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can only just like literally make it go to the next place and then figure it out here.
Yeah.
So now I'm at the figure it out here part with everything in my house. Wow. Like literally I've been in my house for like about a week and a half and I haven't even had Laura or Tyler come over because I'm like, I can't like even fit you guys in the house yet. Like it's too much going on.
I feel like I just need to come over and overhaul. But my way of organizing is getting rid of everything.
It's throw it all.
I will get rid of everything because I have learned I like space more than I actually like having things. I would rather have an open closet and like open the closet and there be a few open shelves than rather just shit piling out everywhere. And I'm like, I don't even, I'd rather have like a relaxed space where you open it and you can breathe rather than open it and just be full of shit that I'm like holding on to. It's what it's called. It's called fucking shit.
It's fucking shit. And the gag is too, do you know what really killed me? It was like all the other rooms I have in my house, the closets, what's in there, the junk that's in there, coming to this place in boxes. And I open it, I'm like, what even is this?
And you don't even know where you're going to put that stuff.
Exactly. Like, so that's why I'm like, what the fuck? Like I'll literally open a box and I'm like, why is this even here? Like I don't even want this. Like that's what overwhelms me is fucking shit like that.
I think you just have to honestly donate 90% of it.
That's what I'm doing right now.
And if you need something later, you're in a situation where you can afford to get it.
I will have to get it. But, and it's not like I'm giving away crazy shit. It's I'm like, okay, I can give away these 5 pillows I'm not going to use.
5 throw pillows you're not going to use.
Go, get out of here.
10 pairs of sheets. You need 2.
I need 2.
get rid of the rest. It's
That's
stuff like
where I'm at.
All these
I don't
old
need
lamps
5 comforters.
that you don't. See, that's what I was
2.
getting rid of. That's what I was getting rid of. I was like,
stuff like that.
why is there 87 normal pillows in this closet?
Mm-hmm. Why do I have 5 duvets?
Every bed in my home has pillows. We don't need any of these.
No,
so I was like, Aaron, we're donating. We're getting rid of all of it.
This is where I'm at. So that's currently my pit right now because I'm in the process of like, and the thing is too, it's really frustrating because I'm so excited about decorating stuff, but I'm overwhelmed by having to get rid of stuff before I start decorating stuff.
Yeah, you got to get rid of.
You have to get rid of first.
You got to get rid of.
You know, so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, that's my current pit.
You need to
I want to scream.
Go through every box with the mindset of, I don't want any of this shit. You need to fill your garage slam full of stuff to get rid of, and you need to call that truck.
People like,
and
come get
then,
it. Boom,
only
boom,
then,
boom.
you start decorating.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be a pleasurable experience until you clear it out.
I know. It's really
you
not.
You got to get rid of everything.
I agree.
You got to keep the major stuff. And you got to clear out.
At least like I got stuff for like my room so I can just like live in it.
Yeah.
So that's starting to kind of come together. Like
you finally got your bed.
I got my bed in. I'm so excited. I have my nightstands in, my media stand. Like I'm starting to get stuff. A dresser. So I have like that stuff there, but now I'm like, okay, I want to like start doing more, but I can't because there's too much stuff.
So much stuff in the way.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's going to be a lot to go through.
And that's where we're currently at right now.
See, this didn't happen to me because whenever I moved into my house, I was moving from a 2-bedroom apartment. So the house was empty and I was like, I have 4 boxes. I need stuff. I was like, I have nothing. But if I move now, Tyler literally looked at me. He goes, I said, what would we do if we had to move now? And he goes, oh, we're stuck.
We're fucked.
We're stuck in this house.
That's what I'm like. It's like
we cannot.
You don't even realize how planted you are in your own place until you start to try to move.
And you don't want that. Like you don't want that. You don't. We're not trees. We're not meant to stay in one place.
It was fucking hell. And it's like even me like. It was hell for me and so hard for me. And I'm not even doing like the brunt of the work compared to like the movers and like my assistant and my mom, thank God, and my brother and my dad and like everyone helping me because I'm still so busy doing other stuff that I got to get done.
Yeah. You're just going to have to dedicate one full weekend to it.
It's more than that.
Okay.
A weekend that's not even close to enough.
What are you going to do?
No. Don't just give me a weekend.
Manny, what are you going to do?
It's like I need a full
I feel like, listen, if you woke up at 6 a.m. on a Friday morning and you work till 10 o'clock that night.
I'd get a lot done.
And then you work up at 6 a.m. that Saturday morning and you just hustle through sweat and tears.
See, that's my problem is I don't want to do that.
Yeah, I know.
And also like I have like other things to do. I don't want to fucking do that, dude. I want like, cause I'm so busy and tired from other things. Yeah. I'm like, I want to have like so like what I'll do is at nighttime, I'll play a show while I'm doing, while I'm unpacking and like while I'm getting shit done. I'm like, okay, I'll play something so I can kind of get my you time.
The fastest way to do this is get rid of most of it.
And that's what I'm doing.
And you know that's going to be the fastest way.
And that's what I'm doing.
Instead of like, trying to find a spot for all of it.
It's hard.
Yeah, I know.
I found my peak.
Oh, what is it?
I can't say it. It's your turn.
You can say it. I don't care.
Okay, my peak is that Surreal Life comes out this month.
Oh, that's
what it is.
I just
Surreal Life.
My calendar.
Surreal Life comes out this fucking month.
You guys, I'm so excited.
I'm like so shook because they literally just showed like a mini baby promo like last night.
It looks so good like, already.
Wait.
It looks so good.
Surreal Life is happening. And this is the show I filmed last year in Mexico City for 3 weeks where I have like, I lived with 7 other people in the house, 7 other celebrities. And it was like the craziest experience ever. And it's finally coming out on the 24th.
I'm so excited, guys, because there's like drama, emotions run high.
Laura knows some tea.
Manny has told me tea. I almost called you Tyler. Manny has told me some tea, so I'm really excited to watch. We will be promoting it. You will know when it's out. Don't you worry.
I'm really excited. It's going to be on VH1.
It'll be on VH1.
Like not me actually going into like a reality show.
I'm excited.
A real one. Not like a YouTube one, a real like TV show.
It's going to be so sick.
I'm excited. I'm really, really excited.
We're all excited for you.
Okay, now it's your turn.
So I'm left with my pit now. My pit, guys, this is hilarious, but we have Nextdoor, like the app, and like
I just remembered, yeah.
I just like to go on there and see the drama of the neighborhood because it's literally, I'm gonna be very honest, it's always Karen's bitching about stupid shit.
Of course, like the dumbest shit ever.
The dumbest shit ever.
That's what Nextdoor is, probably.
That's literally
the epitome of the app.
and then there's every now and again someone will post something reasonable that we all need to know about, and the rest of it is just Karen's complaining about things that don't need to be complained about. But I'm on there, baby, because that shit is entertaining.
Yes.
Okay.
And you're also on there because you are the topic.
Oh, okay. Listen, no, I was on there scrolling through and I'm like smacking, eating food, and I was reading this
Popcorn
one.
like this.
Yeah. And I'm like, give me the neighborhood drama, baby. Give it to me. So suddenly I start reading about myself on there. My old house. Someone complained about my house. And I'm like, what? So here's the thing. We decorated for Halloween. We put some skeletons up that we had gotten at Target a couple years back.
Cute.
I put them up every year. Erin really wanted to decorate before she moves away because remember she moved away October 1. So she's going to be gone for the whole month of October. And she was like, Laura, you're going to let me decorate before I leave because she loves holiday decor in general.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Christmas, all of it. She loves.
Love
and
it.
I told her, I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to do anything this year because like it's just me and Ty at the house.
Right.
She's like, bitch. Yes, you are.
She's like, we are.
We are. So I was like, fine, let's do it. So it was like the third week in September, I believe it was. And so we put up our stuff. And this man wrote this article complaining that we put up our Halloween decor in September.
Too early. The weekend before October.
And I was like, oh, yeah, he's definitely talking about me because we're the only ones on the street that have the decor up. And then he specifically starts talking about my decor. So then I was like, okay. At first I was like, am I just thinking it's me and just thinking about myself? Like, oh, it's me. But then I was like, nope, bitch, he's talking about me. By the way, this is a total boomer. This man, I want to give him late 70s, early 80s because he has a profile picture. And so, like, I know. Like, bitch, I know what you look like.
Why would you ever have your profile picture on the
have
next door app? Are you crazy?
Mind? Have you lost your fucking mind?
I would be
out here running
anonymous
your mouth?
for sure.
Like, come on. At least
he must think it's literally
he must think
the 60s again.
He does. He's
having a break.
He literally said that we shouldn't be decorating with skeletons. So then for a second.
Oh, wait. Yes, you're right. But what did he say about it?
He was like basically saying like people have died and we shouldn't use skeletons as decor. So for a second there, I was like, wait, are we not supposed to use skeletons? Like, of course, I'm like, wait. And then I was like, no. Because then me and Ty walk and ride our bikes all the time around the neighborhood.
Yes.
So we see a lot of the neighborhood. We actually go into other neighborhoods. Everyone has got skeletons. And then, because I'm like consciously looking at this point.
Yes.
I'm like, am I in the wrong here?
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone has got them. And I'm like, Target is selling like baby skeletons, cat skeletons, dog skeletons. Like it's like a cute little Halloween theme
it's
thing.
A Halloween
it's
thing.
Meant to be gooey and gory, like scary,
right.
spooky season. It's called spooky season, babes. So then I'm like, no, I'm good. This man has lost his
He
fucking
literally
mind.
is over here thinking you're an ageist.
He's just fucking mad.
Literally.
Clearly he's bored. Like I have so much more stuff to worry about than someone else's Halloween decor. He's mad that I put it up early. He's mad how I decorated my house. And he is going to complain. And his complaint has been heard.
Next door is his most used app.
Absolutely.
That's his number one. Like the 4 apps that it shows you. Next door is his number one.
That's his number one. And so now I've decided we're going to keep the skeletons up through Christmas and we're going to put little Santa hats on.
I think that's a great idea. I think that makes it even better. I think they should definitely just really.
Just for him.
Really just put the nail on the coffin for him.
But let me just say this one thing. I know COVID happened. And there wasn't like any decor up. Everybody just like quit decorating. I'm like, I don't know why. It just happened that way. I guess people weren't in the season for good reasons.
Yeah.
And 2021, I noticed there like wasn't a lot. I was like, is no one in the spirit anymore? Like, am I the only house who cares? This year, there are so many houses decked the fuck out in my neighborhood with Halloween stuff. And I would like to be a narcissist and be like, I think I inspired this.
I bet you did.
I think I set the premise and was like, bitch, we're starting in September and we're going all out. And you guys are going to have to keep up. And my neighborhood definitely took note because suddenly everyone's got decor everywhere. This one house had dead heads hanging from all their bushes. Dead human rotting heads hanging. And I love that shit. I love give it
that. It's
to
like I
me.
love the spooky season. I love the vibe. Maybe like, but it was hard though for those like 2 years. That
of course.
It's very like no one's really in the spirit for good reason. Even for Christmas, for none
even
of it.
I was kind of got burnt out on it. And even I told Erin, I was like, I just don't think I'm gonna like do much this year. And she was like, bitch.
It's 2022.
She checked me at
You're
the door.
doing
it's 2022. Put the fucking decor up. So I did it and I love it. And I'm going to continue to make it even better and greater. And I'm going to keep buying stupid shit and putting it on my house.
I cannot wait for this man to send another message on next door.
Baby, come on. Come ring the doorbell next time.
And I cannot wait for you to put the Santa hats on them.
Ring the doorbell next time. I'm gonna write to him next door and say, you can just, you know where I live.
Ring the doorbell.
Just come up. We just want to talk.
No, what if he like steals your skeletons? Like, what if he gets crazy?
Then steal them. I would love to post that footage.
That would be
like
drama.
So fucking funny.
That would be literal like next door drama.
Please take my Target skeletons.
This is the chill drama that I'm like invested in.
This is the drama I want in my life.
Yes, because you're like, baby, let's fight.
Normal.
Let's battle.
Normal real life drama.
It's normal.
That is so surface level. Mm-hmm. This is the shit I'm asking for.
This isn't the cancellation drama.
I'm not looking for cancellations. I'm looking at an angry neighbor. And by the way, I've never had an angry neighbor before. Which this person I don't even know where this person's live. My neighbors, we love each other. I have really good neighbors. I'm blessed because some of our friends have had really fucking bad neighbors. Mm-hmm. Like that have parties till 3 a.m. and both my neighbors are fucking amazing. I have 3 sets of neighbors and then I have people across the street and all 3, we all communicate 24/7.
I love that.
Yeah. Like literally last week I had all of them. Something happened in our neighborhood and my gate was ringing and I went outside and it was 4 grown men standing there and it was all my neighbors. They had all teamed up like superheroes. And they were like, where's Tyler? And I was like, bitch, I don't know. I'm filming a video. And they're like, this, and I don't want to say what happened, but they were like, this happened and we're on it. I was like, you guys go get them.
Go get
them, team. Like our neighborhood, we're very as one. So I know this person that's complaining. We are a unit.
You're a unit.
We are a glorified unit.
Yes.
And I know this person doesn't live on
the
our
neighborhood
street.
watch, literally.
If I told the neighborhood watch and all these guys what someone complained, they would literally hunt this person down.
They would. And they would find his little profile picture.
They would.
Imagine you just live in your neighborhood. He lives at like 20 fucking streets over.
It's you, Manny. It's you.
I use the Face app to go old.
Oh my God.
Imagine.
Anyways, I'm talking about this drama because this is the drama I asked for.
This is the drama we asked for, not the drama that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
And it's a perfect segue into our break. And then we're going to talk about the actual topic.
Okay.
So we'll be right back.
After this. Thank you to Athletic Greens for sponsoring this portion of Full Coverage. You guys, I started taking AG1 because my lifestyle is so busy.
So it's dude, we have the most hectic ass lives.
Me and Manny both have a very hectic. It's just like we're all over the place. There's no certain schedule. Every day is a little different. So a lot of times like we don't get in our veggies. Did you guys know you're supposed to have up to 5 cups of fruits and veggies every single day?
You're kidding.
No,
I actually I literally had no idea that was supposed to be like that.
I feel like Athletic Greens helps to get you there so you're not stressing trying to get all this in with your busy schedule.
And the cool thing too is that the fact that AG1, with 1 scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source ingredients, probiotics, and adaptogens, which I personally love because literally I am like a probiotic girl. Like I want my gut health to be just as good as every other health in my body. And so AG1 really helps just kind of jumpstart your day, get you really supported in the beginning of the day.
You know what's cool about you mentioning gut health? The Athletic Greens founder experienced a ton of gut health issues. Yeah. And he ended up on a complicated supplement routine, which cost him over $100 a day.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
Yeah. So he created Athletic Greens after experiencing this situation because it's way more affordable. It makes more sense. And you get so much more than just gut health.
Way more bang for your buck, which I absolutely love. You guys, right now it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every day. That's it. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health.
To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/full coverage. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/full coverage to take advantage over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Thank you to Casetify for sponsoring this portion of Full Coverage. You guys, are you like me where you drop your phone all the time and you need a good case that's actually protected but isn't ugly and bulky and make your phone look terrible? Well, you guys have got to check out Casetify. They have an endless plethora of sleek, stylish, and protective phone cases. The newest iPhone 14 Impact series is 20% more protective and just as slim. You guys got to check them out. I've been using Casetify for over 2 years now on my phone, and I drop it all the time, truly. And it's never broke. It's never cracked. It's never shattered. So, these cases work. Also, they have sustainable cases that are developed from 65% recycled and plant-based materials. So you can feel good about your Casetify phone case.
We are massive fans of Casetify, you guys. We absolutely love the cases. I use them all the time. I actually love my Sailor Moon case. I'm obsessed with it. It's so freaking cute. They do the coolest collaborations ever too. And it's so fun to have them. And they honestly have great cases. Me and Laura are absolutely obsessed. You guys go to Casetify.com and use code 15FOOL to get 15% off your first order. Okay, guys, and we are back.
We are back in the Browser field. Hey,
back in the Browser. Hey. You know what's funny? I stopped doing that song on my channel.
Why? Because I stopped doing the subscribe song too?
No. But you stopped doing that long time ago.
Years.
Because, I think when you do something for so long, you're almost doing it because, everyone's almost asking you to do it, and you, kind of, stop wanting to do it.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I was at. So I'll do it sometimes here and there,
yeah.
but I'm not doing it, every single video. I felt like I had to do it.
Right.
Because it made people happy. And now I'm like, wait, but it's not making me happy anymore.
To this day, I still get comments saying, I wish you still sang that subscribe song.
I bet.
And
do you ever have moments that you'll sing it?
Not really. And I am always in a conundrum with it because I'm like, should I sing it?
Right. You're almost like, do I just do it to make people happy? Right.
Am I wrong in not singing it anymore? Mm-hmm. I might be.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way with Back in Battlefield.
I don't know.
And honestly, and sometimes I will interchange it when in the moment it's there.
But
I'm tired of doing it when I didn't want to.
Just because you have to.
Just because I feel like I had to. That's why I didn't like.
Routine.
Because it's my part of my routine. Yeah, I was like, I want to do it because my brows are filled and they look sickening, I felt the fantasy.
Yeah.
If I don't feel the fantasy, I don't want to sing.
Then you're not going to sing
I'm not singing it. Anyways, you guys, so how the fuck do you get canceled? As a creator, this is a big thing in creator culture, influencer culture, celebrity culture. Really, is being canceled.
And I think I'm just gonna say it. I think in the beauty industry, it is just something people are so hungry for because it happens so much in the beauty community compared to other communities, and that's why I say that. Yes, it happens in other communities, but if we're comparing the amount of people in beauty that have been canceled versus other communities.
It's no comparison.
They don't compare.
But the thing is, and it's funny because I've talked to Laura about this. I was like, why do you think that is? I think it has a lot to do with the fact that the beauty community has this almost facade, this rainbow over it, right? This showy almost vibe where it looks like, oh my God, look at it. It's everyone's pretty and everyone's it's a beauty community and it's supposed to be so beautiful and wonderful and stunning and gorgeous. And it's everyone's so sweet and amazing and happy, right? And I don't, and that's not what the reality is. So I think that a lot of people see that and they're like, you just look like you have it all. So I think people can get annoyed by that. They can get maybe potentially jealous of that. A lot of people can feel a certain type of way about seeing these people being like, I'm so pretty, I'm so glam. Look at all the things I got. Look at all my Chanel bags.
It's one of the most
very showy
communities on the internet is beauty. And so I asked myself, because me and Manny were talking about that, and Manny was like, well, look how much,
Because we talked about the canceling thing. We're like, why is it the beauty community? It's so fiercely canceled.
It's so fiercely canceled, and it's so sought after to be canceled. People want it to happen. They love it. It's like juice.
Yeah, it's juicy.
Give me. It's people are hungry for the cancellation, specifically in beauty. So we start asking ourselves why, and then Manny brought up,
the showiness.
The amount of showiness compared to other communities. So then I'm like, well, why is it, these other communities make millions and millions of dollars. Why is it that beauty is so showy? And I start to think, and I'm like, well, compared to other communities, whereas you have communities that simply like David Dobrik, they just
Bloggers,
make content to
gamers.
blog. It is for your entertainment. They're not specifically selling you something. Beauty is one of the only parts of the internet where it is consistently selling you something. So people know big money is consistently being made, whether it be through affiliation links, discount codes, sponsorships, all those different avenues, like money is being made. Whereas in other industries, it's more made quietly.
It's
The money
under the
is
table
made.
money
It's
in a
under the
way.
table money. They make it through their merch sales. They make it
Mhm.
through their YouTube views, which isn't even something that comes up or is really spoken about. You know what I mean?
Totally.
The money just happens because their consumer or the people watching the content isn't actually paying them. It's the YouTube that's paying them. You know what I mean?
Whereas like there's a product in the beauty skincare world. It's an actual product that people are selling. If you buy it, you use a link.
And it's the followers' actual money.
Yes.
That are paying people, you know, like through buying the products. And it's like compared to other industries, it seems like everyone in beauty has their own brand. So like even more money to be made there. Like it's so common specifically in beauty for people to have their own brand.
Exactly. And you know, the reason we've been talking about this, kind of bringing this up, is because of the Michaela situation that just happened, like literally last week, 2 weeks ago. And it became this thing where Michaela Nogueira, I believe is Nogueira.
I think
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure if I'm saying it right.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure either.
But she's a TikToker who me and Laura know, and she is like one of the biggest TikToker beauty creators
I think
on the app,
she
if
is
not
one,
the biggest.
I think she's definitely one of the biggest beauty influencers on TikTok.
100%. So she kind of, you know, this whole like cancellation thing started happening because of an old video of hers popped up where she's like, try being an influencer, you know, try like X, Y, and Z. It was like, you can just tell that she was in a place where she was like just fed up and just like was kind of going through the gigs in some capacity. She had a rough day and she was just like shook by it, you know? And so she said something that she didn't mean. And
it was taken out of context. She had said that she works since like 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's an 11-hour day. And like people cut it out where she's saying she just got off work at 5 p.m. And then they treated the video, which they always do this in cancellations, like she posted it yesterday.
Exactly. Where it happened years ago.
Years and years ago. And she just had a bad day. And of course the internet took that clip. They dug it up. Out of nowhere, they dug up this clip and they just ran with it and they started stitching it to videos of her opening all her designer bags and like this luxury life she lives. And it was like, you're like saying it basically, it offended hardworking people.
100%. That was like what happened was people saw that and they were like, how ungrateful of you, like how shitty of you. The influencers have it so much easier than the working class. That's kind of how the conversation started to go, right?
I feel like
That's
the
where it
internet
went.
just like built that story too.
100%.
Themselves. Like Michaela did not post this video to yesterday and was just like going off and then, you know, recently showed all this designer stuff. The internet kind of took and Mod Podged it together to like build this case against Michaela.
Yeah, and the thing is the sound, like the sound clip went so viral. People were making crazy videos about it. It became like this huge thing on TikTok where every video was literally about like canceling Michaela and being like how horrible it is for her to be like so unappreciative of all the things that she has, right?
Yeah.
Like that's basically like, how dare you, like where you work so much harder, X, Y, and Z. At the end of the day, like there should not be a comparison between an influencer job and a normal 9-to-5 job. Like there's not a comparison between it. You can't even compare them.
Me and Manny have done both.
We've done them both.
We lived in a world where we actually did the 9-to-5. Like we did, my hours were 7 to 5 and then a half day because that's what medical field is. And Manny's done many jobs. He's also gone to college and graduated. Like we've done all those things and lived in the real world. And you cannot compare being an influencer. Is every job hard? Yes. Does every job have their downsides? Yes. But being an influencer, you can't. You cannot.
You just can't because there's so many perks.
There's so like, come on.
There's hard times, but the perks outweigh.
And
the
even
hardness.
then, like a hard day being an influencer, baby, I'm building my dream.
Your empire.
No one fucking said I had to do this. No one said I had to work this hard. These are my choices to build my empire, which benefits me. A real job, you're building someone else's dream. You're working for someone else. And
the man.
You're
working for the man.
And you have to be there to pay your bills. And you have to do the job they want you to do, not what you want to do, not your creative idea. You have to do their idea on their time and their hours for the rewards, which a lot of the time are lower than what they should be.
Absolutely. And so that's kind of where this came from. This topic came about because I was like, yo, we should like have this conversation about like cancel culture in general, because this happening with Michaela, it just like sparked it in me to be like, well, what is cancel culture? What is this accountability? What's like, how does it work? So I feel like, by the way, Michaela is doing fine now. She like came back to the video, coming back, and she talked about everything. She's like took a complete accountability, and she decided to take a break from the internet. So we're wishing Michaela the best wishes ever.
Totally. And me and Manny both love Michaela.
Yes.
And we both think that her video was snatched up and taken completely out of context in a way to tear her down. I just do. No, she's not perfect.
Right.
Yes, she had a bad day. Yes, I totally get how people who work hard were offended by it. I totally get that. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be.
Totally.
But at the same time, she's
It's
not
a snowball
perfect.
effect.
She's not perfect.
She's not perfect. And there was a snowball effect that happened with it.
She just complained and she shouldn't have.
Exactly.
So
which is like this, and what she complained about something that a lot of people just can't relate to.
A lot bigger people have done a lot worse stuff and not gotten a freckle of the hate that she got.
Exactly.
And that's like not okay.
Exactly. So, you know, when it comes to getting canceled, like what is it? So you have to almost be like relevant enough to get canceled.
You do. No, you do.
Like that's just what it is.
Said it.
You have to be relevant enough to get canceled.
So there's people that we hear all the time in the industry. They're like, I'm so scared to get canceled. I'm like, do you know how cancellations actually work, Babs? Getting hate and getting canceled is two different things.
Completely different things.
Getting actual canceled, you have got to be on top of your game. You got to have a big name
peak of your career.
It's not even about having a big name out there, because a lot of people have a big name out there. You have to be relevant.
Mm-hmm.
So not only do you have to have high numbers, but you have to be the talk of the town 24/7. Let's name a couple people that actually could be canceled. I think
celebrities or like celebrity wise. Yeah. So like
Kim Kardashian
can get canceled. Hailey
Bieber, very relevant right now. Selena's relevant right now.
People that are relevant in this day, Doja Cat
could be canceled very easily.
Nicki Minaj.
Very easily.
I mean, obviously there's like levels of like how big celebrities are where it's like, could they even be canceled? Who knows? But like, it's more so about the relevance.
Are they the talk of the town at this time in their life? Was Michaela and is Michaela, I should say is Michaela the talk of the town right now?
Yes.
Yes. So
especially in beauty.
That's where this comes from. That's where a lot of this stems from. Like one, you got to be really relevant at that time. Like you got to be the talk of the town. So like for
people
instance,
have to be interested.
let me name a celebrity that's like super fucking famous, but just not relevant right now. Like Kate Hudson.
Right.
Who
famous
doesn't know Cameron Diaz?
Famous as fuck.
Just like A-lister famous, but not relevant right now.
Not talked about constantly.
And so that's where we're getting out with like the word relevancy.
Yeah, where they're like, are they in the media constantly right now in the news? Always in it, no matter what.
No,
they're not right now.
We haven't heard a peep in a minute.
They haven't heard a peep. So it's like they're not going to be as relevant in this time, right in this exact moment, to be canceled. Because a lot of people are like, oh shit.
The internet is not going to latch on to a story with them because they're not relevant right now.
At this exact moment. But when they have a show or a movie come out, boom, like things pop up again. But a lot of times like there's ebbs and flows with everything when it comes to relevancy too. There's ebbs and flows with it. So that's kind of what we mean with like being relevant, being talked about, things going on in that moment. Same with like, for example, when me and Laura had to deal with our shit in 2018, we were extremely relevant at that time because that was like the peaks of our careers.
The talk on Drama Channel's tongue.
Always.
And that goes to show you levels of relevancy. Jaclyn Hill's gone through it. Levels
James Charles. Tati. Tons of people that were in the beauty community. Another thing that kind of needs to happen for like a cancellation to happen is like check marks.
Yes.
So we call them strikes. We call them like little mini baby strikes when it comes to things that happen to you. So for example, me and Laura had to deal with our shit in 2018, but before that we had scandals. We had little tiny scandals that kind of happened along the way.
I feel like every week, whether I did something or didn't do something, a Drama Channel made a scandal.
About you.
Yes. And
it got a lot of views.
Always.
And it got a lot of attention. And there was this like little mini stink.
Yeah.
This strike that you have, this accountability strike, if you will, about you in some capacity, in some way. So I feel like things like that have to happen before an actual like cancellation, like a big thing.
I remember we had one together. We were so early on in our careers, and we were beginning to touch on this area where me and you were becoming very relevant and a hot topic. And I remember we were walking somewhere and you had your Snapchat up and we both laughed, and like that was a scandal.
Yes.
I remember we bought goodies. We bought goodies from Morphe to do a giveaway with our followers. And because I held a receipt in my hand and walked through the store, I then alluded that I bought it, therefore I'm a liar, and then that was a scandal. So these scandals can be things that
could be very mundane and small.
Yeah.
But they build. So that's the whole point of it. So the whole point of this topic is that a lot of times with a big cancellation, the people that have been canceled have had like little tidbits of things happening before that. So because people love to use those old things against you in this like bigger thing. So for example, like, you know, when I got canceled, people were like using things that happened in my past to jump onto the scandal. So it like makes it more intense, more real. It's like, oh, look, well, like Manny's done this, this, and this in the past, so he must be horrible.
Right.
So we need to cancel him for real this time.
It was like, oh, there's this on Laura, but you remember that time she lied to her audience and like said she bought stuff at Morphe?
So she's a liar.
She's a liar. We know she's dishonest.
Dishonest.
You remember that time she laughed with Manny MUA? I feel like she's not a sensitive person. So she's a narcissist psycho.
Yes.
And a liar. And now this. So it was just kind of like you get these strikes and then it helps the internet build its case against you.
Exactly.
And
so they're literally just like little like
easy.
These little check marks, these little strikes that come against you. For example, like even with Michaela, people using things with Michaela, it's like, oh, well, Michaela, her voice used to be different.
Yeah.
Like, so like, oh, she's dishonest. Because it was like, oh, she just didn't feel as comfortable using, you know, the voice that she really had. She was like, oh, I don't feel comfortable using it. But they use that with like, oh, she's a liar.
Yeah.
So it's like just comments I was seeing like for Michaela, I was like, see, like this is them using the previous strikes to jump on this bandwagon to cancel Michaela for this moment. Even though it's moments that happened years ago. They're like, oh, well, it's a strike. So it's always going to constantly be brought up to cancel someone. Same with like, a lot of times that you see people getting canceled for things, they bring up their past because it's the strikes against them.
Because it seems it's like exactly to make it stick harder because it's like the one thing we're canceling them for just isn't enough to make it as big as we want to get this thing going. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to stir up anything and everything we can, and so they go back
to the past. They pull up all the old scandals to be like, oh look, X, Y, and Z. Even though like honestly, a lot of the times those things that happened years ago, like people have grown from that, moved on from that, apologized for that, but it was the scandal that stuck. It was still the strike that had happened. And even if they had been held accountable and it was just something to be like, yo, like this happened, fucked up, sorry about it, they'll still bring it up because it's helping their case stick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's kind of like.
So it's like, you know, it's validating why we're spewing hate on this person. It gives people validation. So people are like, well, it's okay for me to dog this person and leave online hate. I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bully because look
what they did 4 years ago.
Look what they did 4 years ago. And so like it's okay for me to do this. It gives them validation for canceling
It gives them a reason. It gives them, they're rationalizing their
bad behavior. It gives the internet rationalization for bad behavior.
Exactly. And so obviously me and Laura just speaking from like personal experience, what we see and like what we've just noticed around, things are obviously could be up in the air. Like for example, the whole Try Guy situation, Ned has never been in drama before, but he got canceled because he cheated on his wife. There's moments and there's things that happen that are so fucking massive that it's like you got fucking wrecked and you got canceled for it because it was so like cheating or something like so beyond insanely just shitty.
And then you have the situations where you're like Michaela, where years ago she had a bad day and she vented about the stresses of being an influencer and she obviously shouldn't have, and so it blows up in 2022
where she should be canceled for it,
which and it's like turned into what I see as like a witch hunt against her.
Totally 100%.
It's like turned into that over a girl who was cranky and had a bad day years ago, and I was like, wait a damn minute. Now would y'all be treating anyone on the internet who had a bad day 2 years ago like this? No, you wouldn't. But why are we doing this? Because of relevancy.
She's relevant, and she's like the biggest beauty TikToker.
See how the circle
there's this cycle. It's just me and Laura will have these conversations and I'm like, we'll like put two and two together and we're like, the reason that she's like, you know, dealing with this, and we're not saying that people can't be held accountable to things, 100% for sure, but the internet always takes things so far.
That's the problem.
Like people are never really held accountable because they take it so far to cancellation where they want to cancel them and like fucking destroy their livelihood.
And I just don't think someone's livelihood should be destroyed over making mistakes.
Not, you know, especially mistakes like that are literally ridiculous.
Like people can learn and grow, but what cancel culture doesn't do is they don't allow this. Cancel culture doesn't allow forgiveness, and it also is blind. So with cancel culture, it doesn't matter what the true story is. It doesn't matter the details of the story. It doesn't matter. Like, for instance, Michaela's video being 2 years ago. That was never mentioned.
No. That didn't matter.
And all these little T channels that kept reporting on it. I'm like, why won't y'all say when the video was posted? Like, why won't y'all say? Because it tears away from your story, making this a big cancellation. You guys want to because I was always under the impression that she had just posted
I thought she
this.
just posted it.
I thought she just posted
I was like,
it.
damn, girl.
Because
like,
that's
what?
how they built the story out to be. With cancel culture, that's how it works. There's no, like, so, like, I've always said, like, anyone who's talked about my cancellation and they put in all their inputs, they say all the things that I lost, all the things that I did that were terrible. And I'm like, no one has ever gotten the story right and no one has ever told the full truth.
And how that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, and no one ever mentions that it was like 12 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. Like no one mentions that because that doesn't work for their story.
Well, it doesn't work for the growth.
It doesn't work for the growth.
People never take into account that people can grow from things. Like that's a huge thing. So people, a lot of the times as natural humans, we grow, we learn, we make mistakes and we move forward. Cancel culture doesn't really allow for moving forward from a mistake. They want you to stay stuck in your mistake. And that's just what it is. It's like, well, you need to lose everything that you've ever built for what you just did from your one mistake. I got canceled for being a quote unquote bad friend.
Yeah.
So that's like, I'm saying like a cancellation that I was like, why was I canceled so heavily for that? Because I was relevant.
Relevancy. See, it's like this vicious circle that just keeps going around.
Like it wouldn't have, if I was a smaller creator, that would not have happened to me.
In the same situation. I've seen creators sit down and make horrible videos about another creator and like crickets. You don't hear anything about it because of levels of relevancy.
Right.
So it's like, I just think it's important for people to realize that when they are being a part of cancel culture, even though they're validating their story, realize what cancel culture is, how toxic it is, and when you're being a part of it. Because cancel culture is also blind, and chances are you don't even know why you're angry at someone because you don't even have the true story. You just have this snowball story
effect.
that's fun to kind of feed into because it's online drama that doesn't affect you in your life, but it drastically affects someone else. But then people go, oh, well, they're rich and that doesn't.
They'll be fine. They're rich.
It doesn't
they have Chanel purses in
it
his bags.
doesn't matter. But in my opinion, I always, and maybe this is just my belief, and I think that's okay if it's just my belief, but I believe what you put out comes back. So I believe if you constantly are feeding into drama online, if you're constantly contributing and feeding into cancel culture, while that may not directly affect you in your life, I think in the long run, that energy you put out, that constant focus of where your mind's going, which you're spending a lot of time focusing on the negativity on someone else, I think it does come back to you.
I couldn't agree more.
I think in ways that you'll never even know. Whereas if you spent that time saying, oh, well, I'm sure there's more to the story, or, you know, I'm not going to get myself involved.
That could have been shitty, but, you know, maybe there's, you know, empathy is so real.
Yeah.
Empathy is so real. And I think a lot of people lose out on empathy and sympathy and not realizing that, yeah, you might not be able to empathize with someone in that situation, but you can still sympathize with what's happening with them. And like, I will always feel for someone kind of going through a tough time because of what I went through, because I can empathize with them.
And we've even gotten so much backlash on this podcast for like not joining in cancel culture and like saying, like, even in the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing, like whenever we would be like not just completely shitting on Amber, we wanted to like hear her side more and kind of talk about her points she made, people will rip us apart because they're like, no, she's bad. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think either of them were perfect,
right? But
like, we're gonna play devil's advocate and we're gonna go on both sides here and figure this thing out, because like, but we even get shit for that because people don't want to hear that.
No, sometimes they just want to jump on the bandwagon.
It's the bandwagon.
It's the bandwagon mentality, and they want us to also jump on the bandwagon as well. And it's like, listen, do we think that Michaela was like right in saying that those things? Like, no, like that's not something you need to say. But
do I think her career should be destroyed over it? No. Oh my God.
So like, we just don't fall into that same bandwagon mentality because we've been through so many situations. We've seen the ups and downs, sideways of so many things that it's like, no, we just feel as a human being, like I actually feel emotions and I feel for people when they're going through a hard time.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I believe in accountability and being like, hey, if someone, like, let's say something I did offended someone and they messaged me and they're like, hey, like, not trying to like hurt your feelings or anything like that. I'm not trying to come for you. But I was like, you know, this kind of hurt my feelings and this is why. I'm so much more receptive of like how something has come across to me. Cause I'm like, oh, you're not coming at me to attack me in any way, shape or form. You're coming at me to like
have a conversation,
to acknowledge something that's going on. And I'm so much more receptive of that because you know, I'm not getting attacked.
Right.
The attacking mentality that happens with cancel culture is where the issue lies. If everyone was like, you know what, this could have been a bad thing and this is why it happened.
Yeah.
And understanding and explaining situations that happen, it wouldn't even be cancel culture. Right. It would be accountability culture.
It would be accountability culture.
And literally letting people know like why something hurt them and this could be why. And moving forward, you can have everything you got going on for you, but moving forward, this might be where you need to go with it, you know, maybe, you know, being more sensitive to certain things. And if that still isn't what you want and they're, let's say, not doing that, then don't follow them anymore. then unfollow them.
And at the end of the day, I've made mistakes. Manny's made mistakes. You've made mistakes at home. And the thing is, we're going to continue to make them. We're going to keep making them. We're going to keep doing things that aren't perfect. They're not right. And that's because we're human beings.
Absolutely.
And Michaela's going to mess up again. She's going to mess up again because
Michaela's also very young.
She is a human being and she's going to make mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes. And so, you know, I think, of course, the internet is notorious for one thing, and that's taking things too far.
And trying to take people down.
Yeah. Yeah. And
like 100%.
So
people love an underdog.
That's just what cancel culture is. They love an underdog until you make it. But they only love an underdog. But let's talk a little bit before we close about like coming back. So I'll tell you this. I think I don't know all the answers to coming back. Clearly,
we don't know all the answers to like anything.
I can just tell you.
We just can see from our experience.
I think proving change. I think that's the best comeback. Over time, proving to the people you love and your audience that love you, change. Period.
I couldn't agree more.
I just don't know.
That's what I feel. I don't think there's a right way.
You can say you're sorry to the dogs come home, but I personally think just giving it time and proving change. Now, let's say Michaela comes back on next week and complains again about being an influencer. Clearly, the message was not gotten. But obviously, that's not going to happen. And over time, and I think she already has because that video was fucking old, that she had already learned, that's not the way to go about it. She had already learned, and as had I, and as had you. But I think over time, proving change.
The hard part too is as creators, obviously like we were saying, people make mistakes all the time, every single day of their lives, and they learn from them. Creators do that in the public eye. So they're making these mistakes that humans normally make.
Every
single day. But because they're creators and they're putting their life online, people see it and they have an opinion on it, you know? And of course they reap so many benefits for being creators, but also imagines like some of the backlash that they get from making mistakes that humans naturally make to the public, to thousands of people being like, you shouldn't have done that. It's like, oh yeah, I knew that once I had made the mistake and now here I are.
It's like, so public.
It's such a public thing.
But while people, like, how many times has someone complained about a hard day that actually wasn't that hard compared to other people? How many times has that happened?
Times.
And there was no punishment.
There's always someone going through the worst than you.
The punishment was their friend going, now girl.
Come on.
And that was like, the punishment to make them realize, and that's all it really took. Was an honest conversation with a friend. But when it's on the internet and you do it to thousands and thousands of people, potentially millions of people, and then you have to reap the repercussions of millions of people's opinion on that.
When it was a simple thing.
When it was really at the end,
most of the time it's a simple like,
there are those times when it is a big deal.
Absolutely.
You know? And then there are the times when when cancel culture just takes it away.
And takes it way too far.
And runs with it, honey. And they run with their stories, you know, and they make things, they twist situations, and they make things way bigger than what they are in order to build a case for negative behavior online.
100%. And we're not promoting negative behavior online, but like people just do things. Like no one's perfect. No one's perfect. And like I was saying, the whole like people love an underdog until they make it. Like for example, when someone, let's just say like there's a smaller creator, and they've been building and they've been getting to a point. They get to a point where they can afford their first high-end bag. And they show it and they're like, I bought my first high-end bag. All the comments are like, oh my God, fuck yeah, this is so fucking cool.
Yes,
like
bitch.
You're such an underdog, you made it.
Like you did that, girl.
Exactly. Let's say they get to 5 million followers. They have 5 bags now. And the comments are like, oh, like, cool, like we get it. Like now it's we get it.
We get it.
You know, but you were the underdog until you made it.
And now we're like, we don't want to see it.
They want to tear you down again.
We don't want to see it.
We don't care anymore.
And as a matter of fact, we would like to get you back to where you were.
Because that's how you were more normal back then.
Yeah.
We liked you more back then.
Yeah.
It's comments like that it's this really weird vicious cycle of they love an underdog till they make it, they want to take it back down. It's this weird roller coaster.
And cancel culture is used like a tool to do that. You know? So it's a weird time online. And all that we ask is be very, very aware of what you're tapping into whenever you choose to be involved in canceling someone and contribute to their cancellation.
100%. And like same, even me and Laura, like even in the podcast when we talk about things going on, like rapid fires, things like that, like we're aware of what we're saying. We've been through so much hard times, and we can tell, you know, when things are so like ridiculous, outlandish. I'm like, girl, that's fucking ridiculous. Come on now. And we can tell when things are like real and intense and deserve a harsher topic conversation, you know?
Yeah.
And a little bit more criticism. Like, just realize that there's always
but we never
at the end of
just
it.
downright shit on someone and like dog them unless they're Adam Levine. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, but I'm just kidding. That was a joke, guys.
No, totally. But there's I think again, like even with the Adam Levine situation, like there's
we
always
even like in our last episode followed up and are like, I don't think that this was a big deal to his wife. You know what I mean? Like Absolutely. We always try to like see out the story for what it actually is.
Exactly.
And we just try to make it a topic of conversation, just like we're doing today about cancel culture.
Just open conversations. I think it's really important. Like I feel like humans kind of forget that having different opinions are okay.
Yeah.
And it's super normal. And, you know, having an open topic of discussion is normal.
Yeah.
And that, you know, you might not agree all the time with every single thing, but as long as you understand that as a human being, like people deserve respect and you just like you deserve respect, that's all you can kind of move forward with, you know?
And it's like, think of it too, like if you follow someone and love them so much, and if they disappointed you so much with like complaining about a rough day, what would you say to a friend that complained about a rough day when it indeed wasn't?
Get it together.
Yeah, it's like you don't need to lose your whole career over that.
Or you don't need to like shit on someone completely
like
for that.
Take a dump and make 10 videos on them.
Mm-hmm.
Not needed.
It's not needed. It's not necessary.
And in my world, you're building yourself a case of bad karma. And I know it's like may not have a direct effect on you. And a lot of people don't believe in what comes around goes around. I just do. And so I have to stand by that. Like, I think you're shitting on yourself when you shit on someone else because it comes back in a weird way.
In some capacity.
It does, because like there could be an opportunity you're not seeing because your energy and time is focused on this negative situation, and there could be something really positive and an opportunity that you're not seeking, or you just never know that you're missing because your energy's over here. And in order to like see this opportunity or see this person you can connect with or see something, you're missing it because of where you put your energy. So I'm really big on like trying to keep your energy in a good place, you know?
And there's moments when I'm sure you have bad places.
That's being a human.
And bad moments. That's what being human is.
In all my self-help books, it talks about allowing yourself to be upset, allowing yourself to get sad, allowing yourself to get angry, and then move the fuck on.
Absolutely. You guys, I cannot even tell you the amount of times I'll send Laura, be like, Laura.
Oh, I'm like, give it to me. Give it to me. I'm like, give it to me.
I need to be a bitch right now. I need to let out the demons, and then I can move on.
And then we normally come to a consensus on it, and then we move on.
And I think that's so normal, and just like getting. You know, sometimes you gotta expel it, get it out.
Get it out.
And then let the good in.
And then let it go.
It makes room for the good.
Let it the fuck. It does. It does.
Have your like.
Get it out. And like truly,
even.
all my self-help books, they mention in a different way, but the same premise is, sure, be upset. Don't live a perfect life where you're like, I'm going to be happy all the time. Be upset, but fucking move on.
Exactly. Appreciate the emotions, you know, like have them.
Because I've even caught myself being like so caught up and be like, I'm not going to let this destroy my day.
Yes.
But I'm like, no, I'm fucking mad. I'm going to be mad for 30 minutes and then I will move on.
Yep.
And this will not take over my mind and it will not take over my day, but I will be mad.
And I'm gonna
be fuming.
Make sure you know.
Oh, I'm gonna be fuming, and then I move on.
And then you can move on, and you know, it just gradually.
I think it's so important to move on. But we wish the best for Michaela, just because we mentioned her a bit in this, because that was a relevant thing that just obviously happened, and
that's what kind of started the topic.
Me and Manny love her, and we think she's doing amazing, and we think she's gonna make more mistakes, and we're gonna make more mistakes, and you're gonna make more mistakes.
We all are. Like we all are. And we have to. You guys, grace is so real. You know, we have to have grace for people. We really, really do, and we have to understand when things are coming from, and
treat others how you want to be treated.
Exactly. Treat others the way you want to be treated.
If you really made it big and started succeeding, how would you want people to treat you?
And also, like, imagine it happening so rapidly.
Yeah.
People like don't have like it's not easy for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, and like imagine the blow up, like for example, Michaela had in 2 years. Like all that happened in 2 years, and she had to make all these decisions, everything going on in 2 years.
But also you notice she hasn't made a video like that in 2 years. So she obviously learned somewhere in there, somewhere without the internet's criticism, she learned not the time, not the place for my complaints.
And to keep it moving.
Without being canceled,
exactly.
She learned that. Now, if she had continued to post videos like that all the time, maybe not. But she didn't. She made the one video and she clearly learned along the way without the internet's cancellation, you know, if this isn't the time and place for this. and moved on.
Yes, absolutely.
And she moved on. And then it was brought up.
Exactly. And the thing is too, you know what's crazy to me is that like I saw this video on TikTok and it was like saying how like you think your job is hard because it's your job.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the day, it's the truth. Like my makeup for me was like my passion and it's something I loved doing. And it was before I found it and then became my job. And I was like, shoot, this is my work. Like there's a switch that changes. Like it's your job. So things become harder because when you start doing it for a living, you have to do it. So like, of course you're going to think it's hard, but it doesn't mean that other jobs aren't hard or harder.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
right.
that doesn't mean X, Y, and Z. Just because Michaela said that, having an influencer is really hard. I had a hard 9 to 5. Like it was intense. That doesn't take away from someone else's hard experience.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally doesn't. But anyways, that's our episode on it. As always, we want to hear your comments.
We would love.
You guys have written through us through blood, water, tears, bad days, good days, and I think like I have a lot of brands, I have a lot of agents, I have a lot of managers, I have a lot of people comment on my audience and they talk about what a great audience I have, and as do you.
Same.
And I'm like, well, they've been through a lot with me.
Same.
And first, I think
with
like
us.
the people that are with me now are like,
they ride.
They're my people.
They're your
You know what
riders.
I mean? And that's why they're so fucking great.
Because they like get you, like they get your vibe, and they've been with you.
Well, when you go through something with someone or you experience, it's just like on another level. You know what I mean? We have a trauma bond here.
We have a trauma bond.
We have a trauma bond.
And we have a trauma
bond. And I just want to say I love you guys.
Same.
And I know Manny does too. Like we love you guys. We talk about you guys. And you guys have helped us make this podcast such a fucking success.
Oh, and so fun for us. Like
literally.
And it's funny because I'll have moments like even like today I was like, I'm nervous to talk about this. Like I'll have moments when I get freaked out and I'll get in my head about things. And I'm like, why? Like literally like y'all are so fucking cool.
I feel like they get where we're coming from when we talk about things. You know what I mean? Like I get like 99% of the time our audience gets where we're coming from and they get what we're trying to say.
And we're always trying to say it in like a way like understanding and trying to get our point across and not ever coming from a bad place. And I think that people can see that.
Yeah.
I think that people know, like they can tell intention. I think intention's so important.
Intention's important.
It's like super, super important. And so I think that if we have bad intentions for stuff, like, yeah, for sure. But if we don't, and we want like to, you know, talk about things and learn and grow, then like, I think even if we said the wrong thing, people would understand.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally. So that's just what that is.
And we love you guys. We love you so much. Leave a comment. We'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, what you guys think about cancel culture, what you guys think of it, how it works in your guys' heads. We just kind of wanted you guys to dive into some influencers who have dealt with it and kind of seeing how it flows online now. Like where it's at now. Where it's at now.
Because apparently I thought it had calmed down, but it's still going strong.
Rampant.
It's rampant.
It's still very rampant. So
yep.
We love you guys, and we'll see you guys on our next episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye.